5 months pregnant, I received a call from the hospital. Sean Watts was stabbed in the kidney on the street by an enemy seeking revenge. I rushed to the hospital overnight and signed the organ donation consent form. After the surgery, an ugly scar remained on my abdomen. He was worried about the child and had the driver take me home to rest. I forgot to take the surgical documents and turned back, only to hear his brother's piercing teasing outside the door. MIA Lane. Did her mom not take her to the hospital when she had a fever as a kid? How can she be so stupid? Signing the organ donation form just like that. It's all thanks to Sean's acting skills, or else we wouldn't have pulled it off. Sean lay on the bed playing games. The surgical consent form casually tossed into the trash. 5 months pregnant. Can't go too far. Just make a couple of casual cuts and be done with it. I don't want her kidneys. His friends kept praising him, each word more flattering than the last, lifting him to the heavens. Of course, in our Sean's heart, there's only Miss Price. To vent for Miss Price. He's been acting for 3 years, even sacrificing his own body. Counting now. The revenge plan is just 2 steps away from completion. Early congratulations to Watts and Sarah Price for a happy marriage. The sound of laughter pierced my ears and stabbed into my heart. Clutching the surgery receipt, the pain left me too weak to stand. What I thought was young love turned out to be nothing but revenge. His devotion was merely Sarah's bargaining chip for venting anger. Taking out my phone, I silently sent a message to my boss. I'm willing to participate in the overseas research project. Just beyond the door, Sean wore a bright smile, happily scrolling through the project checklist on his phone. His buddies beside him glanced over and gave him thumbs up in praise. That's just what's being full of wicked ideas. Who else could come up with such rotten schemes? Right from the start, they gave MIA a pet dog, which was actually a weak dog, destined to die soon. She genuinely thought it was her fault for not taking good care of it, and then Sean drugged the dog to make it vomit blood. She was so desperate she knelt outside the vet clinic for an entire day. What was the second time? Oh right, Emia's mother was critically ill. And Sean used the excuse of handling her mother's funeral to mix her ashes with the dog's. She ended up kneeling in the freezing snow, digging for 8 hours straight. Her first project proposal was also secretly leaked to the rival company by Sean. MIA thought it was her own fault and cried so pitifully during the company meeting. In the end, she was fired and accused of unethical conduct, permanently blacklisted from the industry. Again, it's Watts with his endless supply of wicked ideas. Sarah said, just combine the last 5 times, let it go considering she's pregnant, trick her twice more, get rid of the child, and you'll be even. Sean scoffed and chuckled lightly. Still, Sarah is too kind-hearted, just a child can make her soft. One of the friends couldn't stand it anymore and spoke up to dissuade them. Isn't this too harsh? Even if MIA stole Sarah's internship spot at the company, is this really necessary? She's pregnant now. It's still a human life after all. The person next to him punched him in the arm. What are you saying? Whose side are you on? Everyone knows Sarah was the top graduate of her year. She should have been selected outright. If it weren't for MIA sleeping with the company executive, how could that bitch have stolen the spot? I think this is still too light. A child born from such filth won't be anything good either. If you've got time to spare, save your pity for Watts, who stooped to act for 3 years just for revenge and got taken advantage of hundreds of times. My blood froze in an instant, clutching the knife wound in my abdomen. I fled the hospital in a sorry state. 3 years ago, I did indeed apply to the same company as Sarah, but the manager favored my proposal. I glanced at it during the meeting and immediately decided to take the job. At night, I attended a social gathering and was pressured into drinking too much. My kind-hearted boss got into the same car to take me back to school, but it was captured by Sarah waiting at the door. The video was spread across the school forum. It completely ruined my internship and my reputation. In my moment of despair, it was Sean who appeared. He helped me resolve the job issue. He is Watts's sole heir, the center of attention. I had a crush on him throughout college, never imagining our paths would cross. I once asked him why he would like someone as ordinary as me. He simply said it was my stubbornness and unyielding spirit that caught his eye. For 3 years of living together day and night, he poured out all his tenderness. Yet in the end, it was all but an illusion. The beginning of my deep infatuation was also his first step in Sarah's retaliation. Sean. This deception, it's time to end this. Taking out my phone, I trembled as I sent a message to my boss. I'm willing to participate in the overseas research project. There was a brief pause on the other end, followed by a light chuckle. Aren't you already pregnant and about to marry your boyfriend? This project won't bring you back home for at least 10 years. Have you thought it through? I sighed silently. I've thought it through. I'm not getting married anymore. My career is more important. My superior expressed much relief and said many encouraging words. It's nothing more than saying women should be self-reliant, and love will come in abundance after achieving career success. But I can no longer take it in. Back then, in order to stay by Sean's side, I had to switch to a different field for research after being framed. Looking back now, it can be considered a blessing in disguise. Just casually responded with a couple of words. I filled out the registration form. The moment I got home, I received Sean's message. Are you feeling okay? Why did you leave the hospital so soon? The doctor said you're pregnant and need more rest. Is the baby not bothering you? Following closely was an adorable dog emoji. It was the dog he gave me back then. It has been 3 years since it passed away. The tone of care and consideration remains the same as before, yet I can no longer feel his warmth through the words. After a long silence, I typed a reply. I'm fine now. You should rest well and don't worry. Perhaps the child in her womb made him feel a rare pang of guilt. Sean invited me to a business dinner for the first time. I'll pick you up 3 days after I'm discharged from the hospital. My assistant will deliver the evening gown to you. Many executives will attend this banquet, and I want to introduce you to everyone. Unable to muster the energy to respond properly, I casually sent an emoji reply and went straight to sleep. The moment I closed my eyes, the wedding photo by the bedside seemed unbearably glaring. It was taken just a week ago when I dragged Sean to the photo shoot. First, he used work as an excuse, then claimed he had overtime due to social obligations. Finally, for the sake of the child, he reluctantly gave in. This is our only photo together. The image of us embracing now seems incredibly ironic. Unable to sleep, I simply got up. I packed all my belongings into the suitcase. That wedding photo was also set ablaze by me, turning to ashes. Sean feigned illness to be hospitalized but couldn't stay idle, appearing at the company meeting the very next day. Watching his confident demeanor on the screen, where was even a hint of post-surgery weakness, after noticing the camera, as if afraid I'd detect it, Sean hurriedly had someone turn off the phone. The thrice-daily greeting messages never stopped coming. My replies grew increasingly perfunctory each time. An appointment was scheduled for the abortion procedure a week later. Sean. The car to pick me up for the dinner party has arrived outside. Catching sight of the word hospital on the screen, he asked in confusion, "Surgery? What's wrong with you?" I took the phone and turned off the screen. "It's nothing, just a routine post-operative checkup. Let's go, or we'll be late." Without much thought, he pulled me into the car. The whole way, he kept talking about how boring and tough his hospital stay had been. I listened with half an ear, turning my head to gaze at the scenery outside the window. His acting skills are truly exceptional. It's a real shame he didn't pursue a career in the entertainment industry. At the banquet, Sean stayed by my side the entire time, yet my gaze involuntarily drifted to Sarah, not pregnant. Her figure remained as slender and graceful as ever. Standing in the crowd, they shine exceptionally bright. A few friends exchange glances with him, sharing a silent understanding. They walk up to me and raise their glass. "Miss Shu, what's young master's temper? You've endured it for 3 years. I salute you." Bottoms up, I furrowed my brow. Before the words of refusal could leave my lips, Sean had already shielded me behind him. "She's pregnant, she can't drink, I'll take it for her." Gasps and whistles rose one after another. Everyone was praising Sean for being so devoted to his wife. Seeing this, a friend casually picked up another wine glass from the table and handed it to me. "It's just juice, no alcohol." Surely Miss Shu wouldn't refuse such a small gesture, would she? Sean no longer refused and nodded for me to drink. The pungent smell of alcohol filled my nose as I suppressed the bitterness in my heart. I downed the liquor in one gulp. With the first toast out of the way, a steady stream of people came forward to propose more, after finishing a round of drinks with business partners. A sharp pain had already begun piercing through my abdomen. My face gradually turned pale as I struggled to find Sean to take me away. Instead, he turned and followed Sarah out the door. When the final glass of alcohol was served, cold sweat broke out all over my body. Everything went black as I passed out. When I opened my eyes again, it was the dimly lit hotel room. No one was by my side, only the familiar voice from the hallway outside the door. Still, what's the best at this trick? Putting abortion pills in her drink, and she drank it in one gulp. But your baby is really stubborn. It still didn't work. I'm afraid surgery might be the only option now, Sean said with a colder tone. I only ordered the drug to be administered, not for her to miscarry. Who switched the medicine? Sarah gently shook his arm, her eyes reddening with grievance. It's me. I don't want her carrying your child. She'll have a miscarriage sooner or later anyway. Are you angry? That's not what I meant. It's just, taking medicine for an abortion is too risky. She's already 5 months along. What if something happens? The friend smiled carelessly. What could possibly go wrong? Isn't the doctor already waiting at the door? If nothing happens tonight, all this would have been for nothing. Forget it. As long as she suffers a little, that's fine. This last chance must be seized. Give her a strong dose. Sean did not refuse but fell into silence, seeing this. The friend pressed the advantage and said excitedly, "How about arranging a car accident? If she's hit while 5 months pregnant, the baby definitely won't survive. Then you can just pretend to be sad for a couple of days. We'll deepfake a video of her sleeping with another man, without the child. Even if she jumps into the Yellow River, she won't be able to clear her name. She'll surely be too ashamed to stay, not just unable to stay. If I were her, I wouldn't even want to live anymore." Sarah waited 3 years. "This time we'll make sure that bitch never gets back up." They said much more after that, but I could no longer hear it. As tears welled up in my eyes, Sean saw his friends out and returned to my side. Seeing me in tears, he pulled me into his arms with a heart full of pain. "I'm sorry. I didn't know there was alcohol in that juice. Thank goodness the baby is okay, otherwise I would have blamed myself for life. Let me take you home." "All right." The moment we stepped inside, he keenly noticed how much emptier the house felt. Holding his hand, I smiled just as I always had. I just threw away some trash, and besides, I can't fit into my old clothes after getting pregnant. Sean didn't think much of it, pulling me into an affectionate embrace. His hand reached under the skirt. I quickly grabbed his hand. "Child." He reached out to gently tap my nose and kissed my forehead. "What are you thinking? Am I that kind of person? Don't worry, just rest well these days. I won't touch you, MIA. Thank you for saving my life. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. For you and for our child, I promised to be more careful and keep our family whole." He told the lie so often that even he began to believe it. After drinking the milk laced with sleeping pills, I lay in bed with my eyes closed. Sean no longer hid it, making a call to Sarah right in front of me. "Do you like this wedding dress? I had the designer handcraft it for 5 years. Just for this day, just bear with it a little longer, it'll be over soon." Sarah coquettishly giggled, her shy voice echoing through the bedroom. "Can you really bear to do this? The child she's carrying is your firstborn. If it weren't for you, she wouldn't even have the chance to sleep with me. I'm sacrificing myself for you. So you can't look down on me, just a bastard child. Other than the child born from your womb, I won't acknowledge anyone else." The two of them chatted ambiguously for a long time. Tears streamed down from the corners of her eyes. 1 second before the phone call ended, Sean softly reminded, "But, don't take any lives." For the next 2 days, Sean used the excuse of too much work piling up during his hospital stay, moved back to living at the company. It wasn't until the early hours of my birthday that he finally sent a congratulatory message. "Today is your birthday. I've prepared a surprise for you at the mall. Wait for me to pick you up." Followed immediately by a transfer of 5201314. I didn't collect the payment and casually replied with an emoji. After finishing a phone call, sent Sean the last scheduled message. At night, Sean didn't drive but walked with me along the road for a long time. I silently followed in his footsteps, listening to him reminisce about the past we shared in love, at the point where our hands joined. I could feel the rapid pulse of his heartbeat, until at the last intersection, a speeding truck lost control and came charging toward us. Sean instantly turned pale. He instinctively tried to push me away. I grabbed his hand and shoved him onto the steps. From his perspective, all he could see was my figure being sent flying by the truck, engulfed in the sea of flames. The moment the fire ignited, his face turned pale instantly. Friends rushing from behind hurriedly pulled him into the car. I got up from the other side of the road, took a taxi to the airport with my documents. The moment I boarded the plane, the scheduled message appeared on Sean's phone. "You lied to me for 3 years. This time, it's my final gift to you." A friend beside me sounded excited, pointing at the recently exposed deepfake video on their phone. "This time MAA is really done for. That bastard child in her belly probably won't survive either, after 3 years of revenge. If this doesn't end soon I'll go crazy. Sean really knows how to endure." Sean broke out in a cold sweat all over. Why, wasn't it just about hiring a tricycle to scare her? Where did that truck come from? Who did this? The friends looked at each other, confused about the situation. "What truck? We just rented a beat-up car. Who changed it?" "You." Watching everyone shake their heads frantically, Sean recalled the scene of the incident. "No, that's not right. This car accident was an accident. MIA. Hurry to the hospital." A friend quickly held the person down. "Why are you panicking? No matter what car it was, as long as the goal is achieved, isn't that enough? The crash was so severe, Mia's illegitimate child definitely couldn't be saved. The video is already posted, it'll be trending soon. Why bother with that bitch? Hurry up and think about how to propose to Sarah. She's getting impatient waiting." He opened his phone, about to call for emergency medical assistance, only to see the last message I had sent. Immediately after, news of the car accident popped up. The victim, 5 months pregnant, was repeatedly run over by a truck, and no vital signs could be detected. Looking at the familiar street in the car accident news, in the photo, the license plates were completely stained red with blood. Sean turned pale instantly. The phone slipped from his palm and fell to the ground. His friend frowned, looking at him in confusion. "What's going on? Are you so excited about proposing to Sarah that you've gone crazy? It can't be that bad, can it?" "What's, young master? This doesn't seem like you." Sean remained silent for a long time, and when he looked up again, his eyes were bloodshot. He grabbed his friend by the collar, facing the other's smug expression. His face darkened for the first time. "I'll ask one last time, who swapped that car?" No one around expected his sudden outburst, leaving them momentarily confused, afraid of trouble. The group quickly pulled Sean away. "What's wrong with you? It's just a car, isn't it? The goal is achieved, so why care where the car came from?" "Exactly. Didn't we plan this long ago? This truck might just be fate's will. Even heaven can't stand this bitch anymore. At most, we're just carrying out divine justice." The voices of his friends echoed in his ears, word by word. Sean was trembling with rage. For the first time, he felt that knowing these people was a mistake. After a long pause, he picked up his phone and placed the news of the car accident in front of them. "MIA was in that car accident. She's dead. Are you happy now? Satisfied? I clearly told you not to take a life. Can't you understand human language? MIA is dead. My son is dead too. What's the point of proposing now?" The friends exchanged glances, staring at the news in shock. "Dead? No way. It was just a light bump." "Right, I distinctly remember the truck wasn't going that fast. How could someone die? Could there be some mistake?" Another person, with years of work experience familiar with truck drivers' habits, frowned and warned. "These trucks are all backed by companies. Even if they kill someone, the company will cover it up. But if they don't kill the person in one hit, the subsequent lawsuits are a huge hassle. So they usually choose to accelerate when they're about to hit someone. If they don't succeed the first time, there will be repeated attempts to run over the person. Then settle with the family in one lump sum." Exactly what matches the news report. Sean felt all the blood in his body freeze instantly. The pain was so intense even breathing made him tremble, seeing his emotions on the verge of spiraling out of control. The nearest friend quickly stepped in to smooth things over. "Sean, don't panic. Even if something happens to MIA, it has nothing to do with us. We didn't arrange for this truck, and the police won't trace it back to us. Just pretend to cry in front of the reporters later, and no one will suspect a thing. MIA dying is actually for the best. You're finally free of that burden. Sarah has been waiting for you for so long. I'll call her over right now. When she hears the news about MIA, who knows how overjoyed she'll be. In the past, Sean would have chosen silence too, but remembering MIA's expression during their last meeting, his heart felt as if weighed down by a massive stone. It left him breathless. On past anniversaries and birthdays, even without him saying a word, MIA would excitedly prepare surprises, waiting for him to finish work, spending some quality time together. But this time, from the moment MIA stepped out, there wasn't a trace of a smile on her face. He didn't know if MIA had guessed the truth. He dared not think, nor ask. As they walked down the street, he kept reminding himself of past memories, as if speaking to MIA, and also as if persuading himself he must not waver. The plan for revenge is just one step away from completion. He could only follow through with it step by step, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to explain himself to Sarah. The moment the out-of-control truck came charging towards them, he froze completely on the spot. It was MIA who desperately pushed him away. This alone saved his life. Over the past 3 years, there have been dozens of dangers. Protecting him seemed to have become MIA's instinct. The belated guilt and remorse nearly crushed his rationality. As friends discussed this marriage proposal, they grew increasingly excited, completely oblivious to his increasingly gloomy expression. When the atmosphere reached its peak, they had even drafted the proposal speech for him. Sean couldn't bear to listen any longer. He slammed his palm violently on the table. Enough! MIA died because she was trying to save me. I didn't recognize that truck. It could have been a business rival for all I know. MIA pushed me out of the way with her life. That's the only reason I'm standing here now. Otherwise, I'd be the one in the news as dead. We still haven't found her. I won't propose until we confirm what happened to her. His friends froze instantly. The room fell into prolonged silence, until someone stepped forward and comfortingly patted Sean on the shoulder. Sean, don't overthink it. This accident was just that, an accident. Besides, how can Mia's worthless life compare to yours? Isn't it only natural to save you? Who would spend money on her if you were dead? This kind of woman is the best at acting. Didn't she deceive the company's leadership before? Otherwise, how could she have snatched Sarah's spot? Don't forget who you love. Isn't getting revenge on MIA what you've always wanted to do? If she likes acting, let her act. Her death now is just karma. You don't need to blame yourself. You'll forget about it in a few days. Sean was the mastermind behind the revenge plan. How could he not be clear about what his friends were saying? If it were before, he would have stood firmly with them too, to MIA the dust. But after 3 years together, MIA had never asked for any benefits from him. Whether it's the anniversary of being together, or MIA and her own birthday, just a $10 bouquet of roses from the street can bring a happy smile to this girl's face, was enough to make her perfectly content. Even moving into her own house happened only after his repeated pleas. MIA refused 3 times before reluctantly agreeing. All that acting, all that feigned affection, it was impossible to associate with her innocent and carefree demeanor. How could such a kind-hearted girl be the scheming woman they claim her to be? Sean frowned deeply, his voice icy cold. She's not that kind of person. Her life matters too. After what's all these years with the family, do you think I can't tell genuine feelings from pretense? I don't need you to remind me. It was the first time he had ever lost his temper so fiercely. All his friends' expressions changed. The Watts family was a prominent local household, and they ultimately didn't dare to offend Sean. After a long silence, someone finally asked softly, Sean, you're not falling for MIA, are you? Don't be foolish. Yeah, Sarah has waited for you for 3 years. Didn't you like her back in college? These years with MIA were just acting out of revenge. Don't get yourself trapped in it. Sean had the words of denial on the tip of his tongue. But in the end, it was left unsaid. I'll go ask the driver at fault. Help me find out which hospital MIA is in. I need to see her. After all, we were together for 3 years. She saved me several times. I can't let her leave this world alone. It's just about repaying a debt, nothing to do with love. Even he himself didn't know how much of what was said was true, and how much was false. 3 years of day and night together were vividly remembered. He could deceive others, but not himself. A group of people marched grandly to the entrance. They happened to run into Sarah, who was just arriving. She was dressed in haute couture, her deliberately styled face appearing even more exquisite. But at this moment, Sean had no intention of admiring it. His mind was completely occupied by the thought of MIA being in trouble. Without even glancing at her, he walked straight past Sarah. Sarah instantly turned pale, even struggling to stand steady. Pulling Sean back, she forced a smile at the corner of her lips. "Where are you going? Won't you stay with me? Didn't you promise to take me to the amusement park today?" Her friends knew the truth, but without Sean's approval, they didn't dare to speak up casually. Sean dropped a line. "Something came up at the company. We'll talk after I'm done." Then he got into the car without looking back. At the police station, the hit-and-run driver had already turned himself in. He kept flipping through the driver's statement. He couldn't believe his eyes. Mistake, didn't see, accidental. The all-too-familiar words pierced his heart like a knife. He could no longer hold back and rushed into the interrogation room. "What about the person you hit? Did you even try to save them? Even if they showed no signs of life, you shouldn't have just stood by and let them die, should you? How dare you say it was an accident? Such a big, living person, with a child in her belly, couldn't you see? Yet everything was clearly caused by his own hands. But now MIA is dead. And he seeks a remorseful apology from the driver. He wants to blame 3 years of vengeance on this accident, cleanse oneself of sin." The driver didn't even spare him a glance. With one hand holding a cigarette, the other scrolling through the phone screen. When he spoke, it hit him like a heavy blow. "Oh, you mean that woman? I really didn't see her. Don't think I don't know what you're here for. Just want money, right? Just pay up and be done with it. I've seen plenty of people like you. No need to make such a scene. If you really loved your wife so much, why didn't you pull her away when I was coming at her? We're both men here. I know your little game. You can't have your cake and eat it too. No such luck. Take it up with the company lawyer. I don't understand, and I don't remember." Those 2 sentences completely ignited Sean's fury. He got into a fierce fight with the driver in the interrogation room, until the other guy's face was covered in bruises. And 3 of his teeth were knocked out. Only then did the police rush in to stop them. Sean sat slumped on the side, panting heavily with bloodshot eyes. "You think you can just pay some money and walk away after killing someone? I'm telling you, no way. I don't care about others, but you killed my fiancé. Watts family's future daughter-in-law. She was carrying my child in her womb. Don't you dare try to brush this off, if you don't believe me. Just wait and see whether your company's lawyers are better or my Watts family's legal team is more capable. If you can walk out of that police station, I'll write the name Watts upside down." He gave the driver no chance to react. Sean quickly walked out of the police station, watching the setting sun outside. Yet its light couldn't reach his heart. The driver's contemptuous attitude nearly shattered his composure. He didn't dare to think. MIA must have endured unimaginable pain after the accident, being run over repeatedly by the driver. But what right did he have to judge the driver? 3 years together, countless days and nights. Just like this driver, he never took MIA to heart. Her death was entirely of her own making. All her experiences were the result of her own revenge. He watched as MIA fell from a great height, shattered to pieces, watching those experiences gradually erode all her dignity. At that time, his mind was filled with nothing but revenge for Sarah. The more MIA suffered, the more pleased he became. To prove his loyalty to Sarah, he even installed surveillance cameras at home, captured Mia's downcast and defeated appearance, sent it to Sarah. The 2 laughed together in silent mockery. Memories of the past came flooding back. He slapped himself hard across the face. For the first time, he realized how utterly repulsive he was. Yet it was precisely this version of him, who had been loved unconditionally by MIA for 3 years. Even at the moment of death, he still traded his life for another. Remembering the camera in the room, he quickly rushed into the car and hurried back home, wanting to catch one last glimpse of her through the surveillance footage. But after the time was modified, Yet he saw MIA entering the hospital. She sat silently on the sofa. Her expression was desolate, as if she had lost her soul. His eyes reddened with heartache. In the early morning, MIA suddenly got up and packed all her belongings. She threw all the memories of their past into the trash. The only wedding photo of the two of them together was also set ablaze by her and turned to ashes. Tears dripped onto the floor, reflecting a dazzling light. It stung his eyes and also stung his heart. Those things had always been MIA's most treasured possessions. He dared not imagine MIA knew what, nor dared he think about why she would do this. Watching the woman he'd loved for 3 years with a numb expression, staring at the flames like a walking corpse, he felt as if his heart was about to shatter. At last, he realized what he had done wrong, what he had lost. But it was all too late. MIA didn't even give him a chance to explain. He copied the video onto his phone, sitting in the same spot where MIA had sat, lighting one cigarette after another. Nicotine failed to dispel the gloom in his heart, yet it made past memories grow clearer. Tears dripped onto the ground. The cigarette burned his fingertips. A knock sounded at the door just then. Sean only then realized his eyes had reddened. His first thought was, MIA had returned. She didn't leave me behind. He threw down the cigarette butt and rushed to the door. Mia's name was already half-spoken, but then saw Sarah's unrestrained, radiant smile. A sexy pair of black stockings peeked out from beneath the trench coat. The short skirt couldn't conceal the alluring view beneath. Seeing him open the door, Sarah took a step forward and threw herself into his arms. She deliberately rubbed against him with suggestive intimacy. The words spoken made him feel as if he had fallen into an icy abyss. Congratulations, Sean. You've passed the test. From now on, I'll be your girlfriend. If the engagement ring costs less than 100 million, I won't accept it. Sean froze stiff, realizing what was happening. He quickly pulled the person away. Sarah didn't expect him to push her away, her expression freezing instantly. Sean, what's wrong with you? Mia's accident. I heard about it. Don't blame yourself too much. A bitch like her is better off dead anyway. She was nothing but trouble. If the child had been aborted, she might have even blackmailed you for hush money. You've been acting with her for 3 years for my sake, and I've seen it all. Now that MIA is dead, there's nothing standing between us anymore. With that, she took a step forward. Deliberately pulling down her collar, she revealed the view beneath. I've waited 3 years for this moment. Sean, take me, won't you? Looking at the woman he had loved for many years before him, Sean felt disgust for the first time. He couldn't understand Sarah why she would say such things. At the beginning, she was still worried about not hurting MIA. Even many of the plans he came up with, Sarah soft-heartedly said were too much. In just 3 short years, Sarah had become someone he no longer recognized, or perhaps, he had never truly known her in the first place. Seeing that he hadn't responded for a long time, Sarah was getting a bit impatient. Sean, what's wrong with you? Why are you spacing out? Overjoyed, I've brought all my luggage just to keep you company. Today is our first day together. Aren't you going to give me a gift? I'm not like MIA, that fool who can be appeased with just a bouquet of flowers. I want Hermes. I want Swarovski. Sean coldly slapped her hand away. He turned to look at the suitcase behind her. I don't recall ever saying I'd be with you today. You're being presumptuous. Sarah never expected Sean to treat her this way. Her face instantly turned pale. Sean, what do you mean by that? Didn't you take revenge on MIA just to be with me? Now I'm saying yes. I even gave up my apartment just to be with you. How could you? Before Sarah could finish, Sean cut her off coldly. Mia's case hasn't been cleared up yet. Until I know the truth, I won't be with you. She lost her life saving me. Do you think I'd roll in bed with you at a time like this? What kind of person do you take me for? Watching Sarah's gradually despondent expression, he continued speaking. MIA is someone I know better than you do. In 3 years together, she never asked me for money. If I hear you call her a bitch again, don't bother contacting me anymore. With those words thrown out, Sean pushed the person away abruptly, swiftly locked the door behind. Sarah stood at the doorway, unable to snap out of her daze for quite some time. The resentment and vexation in his eyes surged uncontrollably. Sean didn't give her another chance to speak. He directly called security to drag her out. The suitcase was publicly thrown onto the street. Passers-by pointed and whispered about her. She got up, wanting to send a message to Sean, only to see seen sitting in a Maybach as it sped past her, heading in the direction of the hospital. 10 minutes ago, a friend called Sean, saying the hospital where Mia's body was preserved had been located. Without a second thought, he rushed out of the house. The entrance to the hospital morgue was already crowded with onlookers. Several friends stood at the front maintaining order. Sean had just arrived when he overheard the surrounding crowd buzzing with gossip. "I heard that woman was killed by a truck. She cheated with over 10 men while alive. Who even knows whose child she was carrying? A slut like her deserved to die. Karma, I say. You saw the video too. Gotta admit, her figure was something else, on par with Japanese actresses. The way she moaned was downright intoxicating. No wonder she seduced so many men, couldn't even stay still while pregnant. That poor child in her womb is cursed for 8 lifetimes. If that kind of woman dared to seduce me, I'd slap her without hesitation. Even nightclub girls are cleaner than her. Looking all decent but doing such disgusting things." The words reached his ears, syllable by syllable. Sean clenched his fists, so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Halfway there, he could no longer contain the fury in his chest. He roared loudly, "Enough, she's my fiancée. And it's not your place to speak. If anyone spreads rumors again, don't blame me for sending you straight to jail." Someone recognized Sean's face. Knowing they couldn't afford to offend him, the bystanders quickly scattered. With a grim expression, he walked to the morgue entrance. He took out his phone and placed it in front of his friend. "I don't want to see any more online news about this, understand?" The friends quickly nodded, hesitantly saying, "I've seen the body, it's beyond recognition." "You'd better not go in. To spare yourself the pain, let me handle Mia's funeral arrangements. We're friends after all. Don't worry about it. You should go comfort Sarah. She hasn't heard from you in so long. Who knows how much she's been crying." Sean didn't even glance at him, saying coldly, "Sarah, what does she have to do with me? I won't be with her anymore. She's not even half as good as Mia's single strand of hair. Where is Mia's body? I need to see it with my own eyes." Hearing these words, the friends stood frozen in place. Someone pointed to the cabinet below for him. Sean stepped forward, his outstretched hand trembling in midair. His heart pounded as if about to leap out of his chest. He saw a familiar name written on the cabinet. After hesitating for a long time, his hand still dropped powerlessly. He lost. The bloody truth lay before his eyes. He could no longer deceive himself. He likes Mia. Long, long ago, his heart had already been moved by her. He leaned against the cabinet, his body sliding down weakly. It seemed that by leaning on her, she was still by his side, as if she had never left. Yet the bone-chilling cold behind him served as a constant reminder. Mia was no longer here. Amidst his struggle, the police called. It is said that the Watts family's lawyer has arrived at the police station, demanding the perpetrator to be imprisoned for 10 years. The suspect could no longer keep up the act and was anxious to retract their confession. Sean felt hope reignite in his heart. After obtaining a new statement from the perpetrator, it clearly states that he did not hit anyone, only that Mia paid him a hefty sum to stage an act. What was the second time again? Oh right, Mia's mother was critically ill. Sean used the excuse of handling her mother's affairs to mix her ashes with the dogs. She knelt in the freezing snow for 8 hours digging them out. Sean immediately contacted Mia's supervisor, after obtaining her overseas address. He rushed to the airport. At the research institute abroad, he saw the beloved he had been longing for day and night. The once swollen belly was now unnaturally flat. The fruit of their love had already been MIA, pronounced dead. He stood there under the tree, gazing silently for a very, very long time. Her smile remains as it was in the past. It feels like returning to the first time we met, until Mia's figure disappeared into the laboratory. He took out his phone, the screen showing Mia's last message. "You lied to me for 3 years. This time, it's my final gift to you." After watching it over and over 100 times, a bitter smile twisted on his face. He turned and headed to the airport. Yes, for 3 years, Mia has been living in her own lies. He had no right to ask for her forgiveness. Nor did he have the face to appear before her again. The only thing he could do now, wishing her happiness. "In places where you don't belong, you shine brilliantly." Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.